Hi, I'm Yapo,
And I'm Agent 355.
and today we are playing an Underdepths deck called Grimlic's Legion. This is actually the free deck you get for playing the Underdepths walkthrough. And I am playing on my alt, so I have a basic shrine. So this is what it would be like if you started the game, did the Underdepths walkthrough real quick, and played a game,
Okay.
pretty much.
Do you have to play only one walkthrough, or do you get to play like all of them and unlock all the starter decks?
You can play one, none of them, all of them. The
Okay.
basic tutorial unlocks one. Each walkthrough unlocks one for the faction that you do the walkthrough for. And then the last 8 are available if you spend 1,000 gold, which you can get in like 3 days not trying very hard.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't have any champs that I want to put go this direction. I don't have any. That was the only other champ I had. So I was like, screw it.
Your guys are very little. Well, I'm not sure if that's a reflection of their power or if that's just this deck. It's tiny
Slightly
dudes.
both. The invisible one there is pretty bad. The other ones actually sees a fair bit of play, but he's fairly weak health wise.
And who are we up against here?
This is a Sunderland's Shattered Peak deck, and I'm not really sure what the point is. I thought it was going to be. There's a race called Canaan, which are basically dog people, which I thought is what it was going to be because that's what he dropped first, but it gets really weird in the middle, and I still haven't drawn any more champs.
Hmm.
I'm at 11 cards pulled, and I don't have any more champs to put down, which is not good.
I know most of the time I've seen the amount of cards in your hand hasn't really been much of an issue because you just seem to have a billion of them at any given time.
Yeah, it can be, although the decks I usually play make it less of an issue. All right, so this is a giant tornado, and it's introduced a mechanic. It introduces a mechanic that we haven't seen before, and that is charges. And charges do all sorts of different things. It's basically like another resource that you can store up and use for different things. This particular one gets charges just by flying around, and every turn it gains an extra charge, and it does damage in an area based around it, a random damage type based on the number of charges it has.
Hmm.
And you can't shoot it with arrows because it just sucks them up into the tornado, so you have to walk up
That
and hit it.
that makes sense, I guess, kinda.
And this was a really weird decision because this guy rushed my font down at the bottom. I was like,
Sure.
it's like okay. There's kind of you should have gone mid. Okay, and this I had to look up this spell because I was like, I haven't seen this in forever. I can't even remember what this does. So basically, it makes all of the fonts incapable of generating resources for a few turns.
So everybody gets nothing.
Correct.
I guess it would be a good use if you already were losing the font war, I guess.
Which he was, so I guess it's a good use, but the thing is, you spend a lot of resources on it, and then it stops you from getting resources too. I mean, it's just
What is that big window you got open there?
that would be the guild chat that I forgot to close. So now you can experience the true joy of playing with goons without actually playing with goons.
That's everything I ever hoped it would be.
And as you can see, our guild tag is in fact goon.
So original.
It used to be LLJK, but we forgot all the passwords for that one, so we had to start a new one.
See, you should have just said, "Oh well, the leader he didn't log in anymore, so we lost control of it and we started a new one." Not, "Oh, we just kind of forgot how to log into it."
I think that's actually what happened, but I like my version better.
Okay.
So I didn't do a great job of killing that guy, but he can't kill me either. So
Well, yeah, he's got 1 HP left. Just breathe on him.
well, he's charred too, so he'll take the last damage over time next turn, and he'll die. So it's all good. See, like that. Eventually, there we go. And then I'll just go camp out and wait for that to come back alive, so I can capture. I can get some resources.
Oh, so when they come back, they're going to be neutral again.
Right. So as soon as they come back, I can capture all of them.
That actually is kind of interesting in the sense that if you thought you were really close to getting control of the map, you could cut off his supply for a few turns, take out his dudes, and then take the entire map easily.
Yeah, that's quite a bit easier said than done, though.
Yeah, definitely.
And there are traps everywhere.
Hey, you got hit by a rock.
Because that guy can lay down a bunch of traps, and traps are super annoying in this game.
Does this guy have anything except the tornado on the board?
Not right now, because he's getting ready to drop something big. And you can see that it just ended, so now those are mine.
Yeah.
So that is the aspect of violins, is what we call it.
Hmm.
It You can see it has charges too. That little arrow is the charge thing. If it gets 12 charges, it has an ability that lets it do all of its attacks for 1 AP.
Hmm. That seems like a thing you'd want to avoid.
Yes, very, very much so.
Now, do you just what get one charge a turn, so he has to live for a while before he does that?
That particular one gets 2 charges anytime I make a basic attack.
Hmm.
So I'm going to try my absolute hardest to not make any basic attacks. So like that is, I just threw a big bomb at him basically. I was like, yeah, that'll work. That won't proc any of his charges. And I was trying to figure out, because it's been so long since I've seen one, what abilities it actually had, so I could avoid dying horribly. And I don't know why it took me this long to figure out what abilities it had, but apparently I'm dumb. So,
It's okay. We're 3 videos in. I still have no idea what's going on.
but anyway, both of these guys are legendary rarity, I believe, or limited. I get the two confused, but they're expensive.
Okay.
This is like a serious deck against a free deck. But he's
So basically, you played like 10 games and took the one that you won.
This is actually the second game I played with this deck. The first game I played was against a goon, and I beat him so badly that I didn't feel right making a video out of it.
All right, I'm going to check with that goon to corroborate your story because I don't believe you at
He
all.
actually posted in the thread, so
Oh, well, now I look silly.
before we did this video. So
Wait, people read the thread?
I don't know, maybe sometimes.
Hmm.
But anyway, so I
That's
was, like, it was just bad. Like he never had a font the entire game. So I was like, okay, I need to get an actual video, and I was like, okay, this is good because these guys are all really expensive champs that he's putting down.
hmm.
Except for the first one, all these guys are. And there's the tornadoes effect.
Whoa, that looks cool.
Yeah. It is actually a pretty cool effect.
Get murdered little bat thing.
So that guy, the big guy with the forearms, the aspect of violins, also has an ability called Life Siphon, where anytime he hits my guys, he heals a little bit of health based on how much damage he does. So what I just did is I used an ability that stops him from healing.
Oh, okay.
So he can't heal off punching me anymore.
That's a convenient thing to have right next to him.
The guy with the staff there that's shooting fireballs at him is actually one of the heroes for this faction, and he's actually pretty good, just overall. So I'm doing all sorts of stuff that's not basic attacks, just so I can kill him. And I was like, oh wait, I can just spell spam him to death. When in doubt, spend a lot of Nora on spells. So yeah, no problem. He's dead.
Rip dude.
And then I'll split them up, and the little shimmery versions are the fake ones.
But the other guy doesn't know that.
Correct. So my hope here is that he goes towards the closest one to him and smacks him, and then I can just shoot him in the face. That's my goal here. So, and I don't know what he's doing with this tornado, because he could like actually be doing productive things, but
Yeah, so far it looked like it went off and it took control of the thing and now it walked back and spent both 6 turns doing nothing.
yeah, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then the guy that he just dropped also has an ability that does damage to other guys around him. So I guess it's kind of a lots of random damage to people thing. And I realized I forgot my goblin last turn. But actually, I do know the lore for that thing he just put down, that bat in the back. Because that actually used to be the King of the Voil.
Okay. Did
And the
he get usurped?
no, the flavor text on the Voil Queen, which is a different champ that I don't use because it's actually really bad, actually says that she took the throne very quickly after this guy rose to power because he died mysteriously. So it's strongly insinuated that the Voil Queen killed the Voil King, and now the Voil King is undead. So
Oh, oh, so now he's in a different faction. That's kind of cool.
yeah, so that's one of the few lore things I actually know.
I always find the lore is best heard through someone else who already did the reading and got through all the boring shit,
I
and then you just get, oh, this one bit was kind of cool.
I looked up the lore page, and I was like, I started reading, and I got through like a paragraph, and I was like, nope, done. I
Was
can't.
that a trap that just spawned the green dudes?
No, it's a spell actually, and it's actually a pretty good spell because it triggers when you walk onto a font too.
And he gave up.
Yes, because I killed all of his really expensive guys,
Okay.
and as you can see, he's not great.
So judging.
But you'll also see that the video is not even half over yet.
I do approve of your alt account name.
Yeah, I like it. I actually started this alt account way back when you started a new account, you got a free banner, and I wanted to move from Underdepths, which was my first faction, to Kathir Forest. So this was my Kathir Forest account for a long time. So I was like, all right, I'll spin another game, and I actually got this game super quick, so I was really excited because normally it takes a little while for a new account to get a game depending on the time of day. And this is
This is
not a
an interesting map.
yeah, this is actually the Underdepths map, which you would think would be good for me, but I don't have any guys who are good on lava. So
Now, I mean, now lava must be a ground. Can some people fly over it and some people can walk through it, I imagine?
yep, some guys get healed by it if they have an ability called Fire Eater. So this is also really bad for me because I don't really have any good champs to send up top. And that champ that he put down isn't very good combat-wise, but it has an ability that lets it move more efficiently called Teleport. He can spend 4 AP to move 6 spaces,
Hmm.
which is really, really good in this game. So he can actually reach my... He can get both of his and reach my top right font before I can get to mine.
That's. Have you tried going faster?
But Kathir Forest is the speedy faction. I'm
Hold
playing
hold shift to sprint.
I'm playing the damaging faction. I just have to beat him up.
Okay. Punch the elves, got it.
That's pretty much always the... I don't know why I keep hovering over things. It's like I don't remember how to play this game or something.
No, you are showing off the different things that the factions have.
Although it has been a while since I've seen either of these champions because they're both considered not very good. They're also both commons, interestingly enough, which was another cool thing I thought about this game was that almost all the way through this game, this guy plays like all commons and like one exotic, which is a higher level, and even then, his exotic he plays is really cheap. So this is actually probably if you were to go out and try and like trade for or buy both of these decks, his deck would actually probably be cheaper than mine. Oddly enough. So this is kind of just the whole, like if you're starting the game, this is what it would
Hmm.
be like. Because that's another common. So this is not great. Not terrible, but not great.
Well, it just seems he's gonna have better board control and more resources, but you can still punch him really good. I would hope.
That is true. That the Grimlic, the hero down there, does like 17 damage a shot. So, but yeah, the other fun thing is this is basically like a deck I used to run way back when I first started. I mean, it was very similar to this. Had a lot of the same champs in it, and I was really surprised because one unit has an ability called Beckon. We actually saw it in the last game where you can relocate your guys. And it gets really weird for 2x2 units. And I was playing around and actually remembered how it worked, and I was like, wow, I can't remember people's like names or birthdays, but I can remember these dumb game mechanics.
Yeah, well, that's just what's important to you. Dumb game mechanics and forget all the people in your life. Do you live in a closet? Basement?
No, I actually have a full bay window in my room. It's pretty nice. I get a lot of sunshine.
Oh, I'm jealous. I live in a basement.
I am working on the neckbeard right now, though. I will say
Oh no, don't do that.
it's good looking.
Don't
I'm
do it.
just you know.
Stop it. Yapo, I can't be your friend anymore.
I, but it drives the ladies wild.
Is that what they call it when they stampede away?
It's still wild. I never qualified.
So now you're gonna beat up the little naked lady.
Yep, the nymph, I believe, is the name of that
Yeah.
thing. Because that's not weird at all.
No. Well, to be fair, I mean, at least lore-wise, nymphs are pretty typically naked. That's kind of what they do.
And I mean, it's actually surprisingly some of the less terrible art. So
I'm still waiting for some of the ones that you showed me to show up.
I'll have to post the other Kathir Forest one I showed you after this one. So, but I dropped the relic right there because it's actually invisible. He can't see it and
Hmm.
he has no detect. So my goal is for him to shoot a couple of the illusions, hopefully, and not me, and then run away and have it multiply on the font because it has ability that lets it multiply before he can find it.
Oh, what, the snake thing?
Yep. Every 6 turns it spawns a new one.
Does that work like some sort of turret?
No, it just does damage around it in a little area.
Okay.
It's actually really, really nice because if you miscalculate and almost kill somebody, you can just drop it because it's really cheap and kill him instead of having to use a spell. And I forgot that thing got a new ability since I played it last, where it can turn into a little raven thing, and it has detection when it's in a little raven thing. And he found the real one.
Dang.
So this is not great. I gotta say.
No, it looks like trouble.
And I've already used the ability that splits him up actually cleanses him. So had I saved it, I could have gotten rid of that entanglement that he did, so I could walk away faster. But now I'm also distracted, so the only thing I can do is a normal attack, which I can't hit anyone in my normal attack range right now. So this guy actually knows what he's doing, unfortunately for me.
Yeah. So far, I've just seen you beat up on people with bad records.
I gotta cherry pick harder. I gotta I gotta tank
Uh,
my rank and find easier opponents.
no, is there a way to challenge, friends or whatever directly? Because
Yep,
I saw you spinning earlier, but
yep. There is actually what I do most of the time is actually just play random goons in direct challenges. But I figure for these it would be better to just play ranks so we could see a little bit more variety in decks and stuff.
yeah, rather than just whatever deck is goon popular right now.
Yeah, actually, Voil are pretty goon popular, believe it or not. So I was like, okay, this guy's gonna die next turn if I don't do anything about this. So I can either let him die, or I can use the spell, which kills him, but gives me back a bunch of resources for it. So you can see I went from like 39 to 129 Nora.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then of course you grab the money from him being dead too.
Yep,
That's a weird looking thing.
it's a dragon, sort of.
The dragon that reminds me of? That reminds me of the dragon from Willow. Remember that movie from the 80s?
I've actually not seen that movie.
Oh, well, it looks a lot like it.
So now he does some absolute bullshit. Alright, so he just possessed my guy and drove him, which gives him extra AP and damage, and then does this. Because he's a dick. So he beckons my guy over and then just runs him across the lava.
Now, why did he give him extra? He gave him extra AP to get him into the
So
lava.
he could run further across the lava.
I like your opponent. That's
I
really good.
it also gives him an ability called Manic where he moves 2 spaces to try and attack the closest champ. So he'll move 2 spaces across the lava as well when the turn ends.
Do you take damage per space?
Yes. Every space is 8 damage on lava.
That's really great.
But Elven Strategist is actually really, really cool. That's the guy that pulled me over. He's a super good utility champ. Like, he doesn't do a whole lot of damage or anything, but he buffs guys around him and he can move your guys or your opponent around. And he's just an all around good champ to have floating around. And he just put out a bard up there. That's why it's got the, I don't know what you'd call that, but get a little instrument. He can play a song, makes everybody better in true bard fashion.
I think it's kind of sad though, because it looks like your little dude's flying, but apparently he's not flying enough.
Nope, and now he's dead.
Rip.
So I was like, well, shit. Good thing I put that relic down. And my little bat up there is getting his ass kicked too. Because that guy also has evasive, which means it takes less damage from range attacks.
Mm.
This is really, really
Yeah,
not looking good.
you seem to be losing pretty hard right now.
Yeah, I kind of am. It's not great. Although that relic deploy was a good choice. That's
Yeah.
been my it's been my one good choice of this game.
Well, the sacrifice play was pretty great too. I mean, if he was dead already, you at least minimized your losses.
I'm not so sure about that one. I'll pretend it was good, but so the little butterflies means that my guy is pacified now, which means he can't attack, can't do shit. So my big old 22 damage, kill everything guy is now just like, well, I'm useless. And he's gonna go beat up on the other one now.
Yeah, this is just not pretty.
Oh, and the little two's popping up because he played the song. I don't know if you can hear it,
Yeah, I can. I can just barely hear it.
but so he got enough AP with the song to rush over and steal my font also.
Now it looked like he just got more grass around his stuff.
Yes, the all the banners or the little flags have an ability called Annex, which increases your font bonus by 1. So KF's font bonus is that they have grass all the way around their font
Oh, okay.
because a lot of their champs are based on grass. Underdepths font bonus is that it does 2 fire damage to anyone that enters your shrine, which doesn't sound very good, but it will de-stealth any champion that walks into it. So it's actually more helpful than it sounds,
Yeah, I could see that.
especially if you have Annex active, because that means stealth champs can't even relic contest without appearing.
Now he still can't take that southern one because your relic is still hanging out, being like, nope.
Yep, and there's 2 of them now.
Now aren't they supposed to be taking a little bit of damage from it as well?
It's only 2 spaces around it, so at the end of this turn, he'll take a little bit of damage from the one. But until then, no.
I see.
It's mostly the fact that it's super duper cheap. Like, it's only 25 Nora, so if I can contest for 2 turns, it's been worth its cost. So
Yeah.
it's already made up its cost for me. So any extra damage I get off of it is just bonus at this point. And I'm
And now
like,
the dragon can go over and menace things.
yes. And I put a thing on the dragon so he can't be hurt by ranged attacks too. So he's in pretty good shape. It's like, oh, I've got another dragon that has an ability where he can generate AP for life. So I'll do that and I'll contest this font. And I'm not bad now. It's not great, but I'm in better shape than I thought I was going to be.
It's I mean, you're still just trying to stall the witch long enough.
I'm,
I
I'm
think that's
trying to claw my way back, but
still a big uphill battle. But now your dragon is no longer soothed, so you can attack next turn.
mm-hmm. Although I'm trying to remember what happens here because it's actually been a couple days since I played this.
Yeah, because you bugged me last night, and I was like, damn it, Yappo.
I think I think it all I think something happens, but where I just like cry.
I'm hoping for the second one.
I mean, something happens that makes me cry. I think, but
Oh, okay. Well, rip imp. So now he controls, well, 3 of the fonts. He would control, all 5, but you're contesting him.
yeah, he's got 3 and I've got 0.
Yeah, that doesn't seem so good.
is really the important part of that equation.
Did you ever control the font? I think you. Oh yeah, you controlled one of them for a very
Yeah.
brief time.
Okay, so that spell he just cast is one that pacifies my guy again. And anytime you end a turn standing in that particular patch of grass, you end up pacified. And every turn it shrinks by one, but it stays around for a while, so you have to be careful in how you move. And that guy scares all my dudes.
Giant murder dragon, terrified of little dude.
That thing. So I was like, well, okay. All right, I'll go kill his war banner, right? That'll help. Because I have enough damage. Oh no, wait, I'm afraid, so I don't have enough damage now. Because fear does -3 damage, and so now I'm too short.
That's just. I feel for you. I feel so bad.
So I was like, okay, I'm done. Now look at this guy's win loss.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I actually when I first got in the game, I was like, I recognize this name. Why do I recognize this name? And then I got to the end, I was like, oh, that's why.
Now, people in the thread have been talking about, whether or not you can actually win with basic decks. And I'm kind of wondering, like, you have a really good win loss on that account as well. Like, I mean, 100 to 26 is pretty good.
Well, those are
Uh,
the regular win loss is challenges. The ranked are the ones where I queue up and stuff. But
sure.
most of this would have been with Kathir Forest decks that were actually real. But no, you can win with the basic decks, but you can't win against guys who have a 4-1 win loss with basic decks.